Manchester City 3, Fulham 2. Again, it wasn't a very convincing performance once again, was it now? It was a bit tight, bit nervous at the end, and very overall quite a bit of a frustrating game. But we got the 3 points. That's all that matters. But we can definitely delve into a few talking points here of where things went wrong. So let's just get right into the players. Erling Haaland. It's a tricky one, Erling. I think it's a case of maybe himself and the service. Because I don't remember a point where he had a very clear-cut chance. So that's where I think you can put the blame on some of the other players. Because if you look at the shots, he had... let's have a look. He had 4 shots in the first 15, then nothing after. And I can't remember a point where he was given an opportunity by someone else. No one really fed him in as much. So that's where some blame does come. But at the same time, I do remember times where his runs weren't quite up to scratch. He wasn't making the same powerful, speedy runs that he normally does. So again, there is some blame to be put there. But overall, I don't know, it's a tricky one with Erling. Definitely not one of his best games. Bit slow, bit quiet, but I think, we're going into an international break. He'll have 2 weeks for Norway. Come back, see how he is. Probably be back up to his best. But yeah, relatively poor performance today. But nothing to slate him about. I'd rather him have a game like this than have a game where he misses chances. Because he didn't have chances to miss, you know what I mean? So, not the worst. Jack Grealish. He's had a few great games, but today was not one of them. I'm sorry, I thought he had a pretty poor first half. I thought he was the weak link in the first half. Not going to start slating or anything like that. I don't do that here. Unless someone actually drops an absolute stinker of a match, then I will. But none of these 11 deserve any discredit. I'm not going to do that. None of these 11 did anything wrong. It's just, Jack just lacked some attacking creative spark in that first half. And bringing on Doku evidently was the right choice when he got the goal. So, but I'm not going to abuse Jack, I'm not saying anything. But he was poor. He was definitely the poorest for me of the 11. Just, I don't know, in terms... I mean, well, maybe Phil was, maybe Phil was a bit... It's tough. But yeah, he was poor creatively. So we'll leave it at that. It was a little bit poor, Jack. Wasn't the best. And obviously it was better bringing on Doku because Doku got the goal. Phil Foden. Again, though, what is there to say about him that I haven't already said about Jack? Again, he's supposed to be that creative spark in the middle. Didn't see that today. Did not see that yesterday even. He had 2 shots. One that went haywire. Blocked. Again, he's not quite the same fit we saw against Slovan Bratislava, He was a bit poor. But again, I think it'll take time for people to really get going. But yeah, him and Jack weren't the best. And yeah, I'm hoping that these 3, come back strong after internationals. We'll see how they play for the countries. So yeah, Jack and Phil. I always worry when they go to England, but less so that Southgate's gone. But they always seem to go to England, and Southgate would just brainwash them with bullshit, and they'd come back weaker players, which is what's basically happened. I reckon they've gone to the world. Well, Phil's got the Euros, and he's been cocked up by Southgate. But yeah, not the best performance there. Bernardo Silva. Now, he's got an 8.7 on FootMob here. An 8.7 match rating, because he made 6 chances. And I semi-agree. I thought he was pretty brilliant. I was sat in the south stand, so on the left side, so he was coming at me in the first half. And yeah, I thought he did look of the attackers, of the 4 attackers, he was the most lively by a mile. He was brilliant. But an 8.7 match rating, I don't think he quite warrants the same as Kovacic, who got 2 goals. He was all right. He was our best attacker, but was he vintage? I mean, he did get an assist. But I think he's just got an 8.7 because of stat reasons. If you actually watch the game, I thought he was decent. He was a decent enough player. You know what I mean? But again, nothing to rage and write home about. That's the other thing. So that's why I think an 8.7 is a bit exaggerating. But Bernardo is definitely one of the best out there. Ilkay Gundogan, again, semi-decent game. I feel like I'm just going to repeat myself for everyone because it was a game where, despite scoring 3, we conceded 2, and the overall game was just a bit deflated. It definitely wasn't like a brilliant performance by either team. We weren't the best, Fulham weren't the best. It was just a bit. I'm not sure. It's tough. It's tough to try and pinpoint. It is tricky to pinpoint where the issues were. But Ilkay did all right, I thought. Nothing to complain about there. Nothing to really write home about though. Like I say, it's the same sort. I'm repeating myself for everyone. Sorry, it's quite boring. But there isn't really too much to say until we get on to Mateo Kovacic, the living legend. 2 goals. First one was deflected. This one, yeah, it was a slight deflection, but still good power. And then this one was just brilliant. It reminded me of Kevin's against Newcastle last year. Brilliant. Got the equaliser. Got the winner. He's the man of the match for me. But he just it makes sense. But I think he has the same match rating as Bernardo Silva. Kind of bizarre, considering he got both goals. Like, it's hard to really credit assists to Silva and Lewis because it was just individual brilliance from Mateo Kovacic. But hey, good to see the lad getting 2 goals because that reassures me. Kovacic scoring bangers like that makes me think, yeah, you can fill in for Rodri. I trust you. He won't be Rodri. I'm not saying that, but he can fill in for Rodri, and I will give him my full support. I have got no discredits, no gruntles, nothing. I've got not disgruntled at all by Mateo Kovacic taking over Rodri's position. Not at all. I back him all the way, and I love him to pieces. The back line. Trying to think where the problem for the goals came from. Like, Josko was alright, Rico was alright. I don't think they were to blame that much. I should have really watched I've seen the replay of the goal, their first goal. And that was just a bit unlucky. It was just a bit of. It was good brilliance by the Fulham player. The guy who got the assist, was it Jimenez? I believe it was Jimenez. With the back heel flick. But again, I think it was just a bit of scruffy defending all round. I don't really want to nail it on someone. And then, as for the second goal they got near the end, it wasn't of any of these four's fault. I think it was Kyle Walker and John Stones' fault. Because if you look, those 2 are the ones supposed to be marking him. And nobody is marking him. And then all of a sudden, he just bang, goal goes in, and suddenly Muniz has a goal. But it was definitely either Stones or Kyle that should have pressed him more. But I mean, apart from that, Diaz and Akanji, I just want to say though, I don't know what Pep was thinking. I'm sorry. I don't know why he took off Akanji for Kyle Walker. I don't know what he was thinking there. He sort of brought Kyle on, pushed Rico up, and we had a back 3 of Vardy, Diaz and Walker. And for a man who's been, like, he's had a troubled time and been slated by our fans at right back, why do you think putting him at centre back when he's going through a tough time is going to help when we're in a narrow game where we're being constantly attacked? I'm not sure what Pep was thinking bringing on Kyle. I would have been more happy later on bringing him on for Lewis or something. But I mean, Pep corrected it when he brought on Stones, sort of, even though Stones was maybe to blame for the goal. It's tough. It's a tough one, but yeah, defence was just a bit shaky. But I think that's just a result of the whole team being a bit shaky. It wasn't really individual errors as per much. And then in goal, Edison, who, I don't know, probably couldn't really do too much for the 2 goals, which is probably why he got a 6.9. But in my opinion, he should have had a match rating of about 7.5 to 8. Because them 2 saves against Traore were absolutely world class and they kept us in the game. If he didn't make them saves, the only reason he's not got a high rating is because he conceded 2 goals. If we had a clean sheet, he would have had at least about an 8. Because them 2 saves were phenomenal. Because Traore was one-on-one like on twice occasions. And in the second half, it was Kyle Walker's fault. So, which one was it? It was this one, I believe. Yeah, Traore, 68. 0.53 XG. I remember seeing Traore bursting down and I was like, crap. But no, brilliant save by Edison. Brilliant save. Anyway, that's the team gone over. I'm sorry, Jeremy Doku as well. He came on half an hour, changed the game. It was a complete breath of fresh air from Grealish, and he scores an absolute banger from outside the box. Just bang, right there, curled, roof of the net. What more can you want? 3-1, and pretty much just put it out of sight despite them getting the other goal. I always thought we had to get a third because I wasn't confident we weren't going to concede a second. I knew we were going to concede a second the way they were playing. So getting that third was paramount, and we got it. And as for the stats as well, like look at that. We obviously had more possession as usual, but the XG though, they had 5 big chances. But you can't let teams have 5 big chances in a game, because if you're playing it, imagine we play Madrid, and then 5 big chances of Vinicius Junior, that you're gonna get punished. Vinny Junior ain't a Traore. He ain't gonna fumble them. Kylian Mbappe could take him. If that's Madrid in the Champions League, those 5 big chances are either going to be Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, or Rodrigo, and they are going to bury them 9 times out of 10. So we need to solidify ourselves for further down the line when we get to the crunch moment against the bigger clubs. So that's what we need to sort out. But for now, I'm happy. We've got 3 points, and I think at the start of the season, you're fine to grind out results. It's the end of the season when you need to put in stellar performances which give you that edge to go and win things. But for the time being, I'm fine grinding out results as we find our feet, find our best 11, work out how we fit in without Rodri, and just keep ourselves up there, you know? I'm not saying go undefeated, I'm not saying go undefeated after 20 games and just absolutely keep going and going and going. Just grind out little results and just sort of push our way. And then come February, we know our best 11 and we can push on and put in big performances, and that's what we want. And remember, it could be worse. I feel I'm playing pointless for what I'm about to do. You can always be Man United. So it could always be worse. You know, we're second, undefeated. We've scored the most goals. It's just that 8 there that we need to sort out. Arsenal conceded 6. Liverpool have only conceded 2 goals. So it's the defence. It's that. We need to just sort that out. Not concede as many. We've conceded the joint most in the top 4. So we do need to work that out. We've conceded more than Newcastle. Conceded more than Spurs. More than Forest. Same as Brighton and Fulham. We've conceded the same as United. Just shows. Us and United have conceded the same. It's our attack that's carrying us. So we sort out that defence, the little tweaks there, and we're good to go. But anyway, our next game is... Oh, God, I was thinking it was midweek. No, it's international break for 2 weeks, for Christ's sake. And then it's Brentford. It's Brentford, isn't it? Is it Brentford? I'm being a clown. It's South. Yeah, it's Brent. Am I tweaking? No, it's Wolves. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Yeah, it's Wolves away, then Sparta Prague, and then Southampton. Yeah, then that's the next. I'm going to that game. Yeah. So yeah, probably I'll see what happens. See when I see you next. Probably the 21st of October, but I could make something between then. Never know. We'll see what happens. But if not, yep, I'll see you on Monday the 21st of October for the review of the Wolves game. Enjoy the National League. Yeah, what's it called? Nations League, not the National League. Christ, that's after the Chargers, the National League. Enjoy the Nations League, and I'll see you for that review. Goodbye. Come on, City.